Hi guys, welcome back to the 12 Days of Foundation. Today is day number 10 and I will link to all of the previous reviews down below if you've got some catching up to do. This series is inspired by that Taylor. She does a 15 Days of Foundation and it totally inspired me to try it for myself, so I will link to her series down below. Today we are getting bougie, we are getting fancy. I'm trying out something that I have never tried before and I've wanted to try forever. It is the Dior Airflash Foundation. This seems to be a foundation that people reach for on their wedding days, big nights out. It is definitely on the higher end of things, so I'm really curious to see if it is going to work for my incredibly oily skin. So let's get started. As to be expected from Dior, it comes in gorgeous, sleek packaging. You get 2.3 fluid ounces in here, or 75 milliliters. This is about double the size of your average foundation, which is 1 fluid ounce, but because it is in a different format, you're going to need to apply it differently. That is about the average size for an airbrush foundation like this one. This retails for $78 Canadian and $63 American, so definitely very high end. I would even call it a luxury brand for sure, so it's kind of like the next level. A lot of the time you're paying for packaging, you're paying for the name. This is also made in France. So these are the kind of things you need to keep in mind because it's an incredibly expensive foundation, which could make it great, but you have to keep in mind it is also Dior, so it's definitely going to cost you a little bit of money. I can see why this is something special that a makeup lover would pick up for their wedding day. It's rated amazing on Sephora, so I'm really hoping that it's going to work out well for me. I'm going to wear mine in the shade 400 today. I've got 501 as well. This one is honey, and I think it might be a little bit pink for me, but I am going to put on a little bit of a deeper powder. We'll see how that works. I'm not going to wear a primer or a setting spray. I'm an NC42, NC43 for reference, and what surprised me about this foundation is that it actually comes in 11 shades, and for a luxury brand, for an airbrush foundation, I feel like that's actually a pretty decent range. Let me know down below if you have tried this, what your skin type is, what your experience has been with it. I don't think I'm gonna like spray it all over my face because that's not something I would ever do. I'm gonna use a beauty blender and a more dense buffing brush on either side of my face, and I will just kind of spray it onto my face. Maybe I'll spray it onto the brush, and then for beauty blender side, I'll just spray it onto my face and blend it in, and we'll see how the application goes. So let's get started. On the Sephora website, it says it's an ultralight foundation that delivers an airbrushed effect with precision and ease. Get a runway-ready look with this innovative mist foundation inspired by the airbrushing techniques used backstage at fashion shows. The unique micro-diffusion system delivers a fine mist of foundation to provide soft, velvety complexion. Customize your coverage by choosing to apply straight from the can for a lighter finish or with a kabuki brush for fuller coverage. Mother of pearl pigments even skin tone and diminish the appearance of skin irregularities and fine lines, leaving your skin glowing with optimal radiance. This could be dangerous. I absolutely love the way that it looks on my skin. It's dried down quite a bit. I'd say we're like 85–90% set, which I wasn't expecting. It's not super dewy. It looks incredibly natural on the skin. It feels so lightweight. I think that the color match is good. Slightly too, just like leaning like slightly too pink. But because I have that 501 shade, I was thinking that I could put that on my beauty blender and kind of use it as a bronzer, and we'll see how that looks. A liquid bronzer, I think that it does a great job. It blends into the skin so flawlessly. I am not recommending you go out and purchase two if you can. Maybe that is an option, or if you're a makeup artist, or if you're just looking for like a spray bronzer, that could be an option as well. But as for the methods of application, I liked spraying it on my brush just as much as I liked spraying it on my face and using the beauty blender, which kind of surprised me. They both gave about the same amount of coverage. On a regular day, I'm probably just going to spray it on my brush because it's too much risk spraying it directly onto my face, but it has a nice cooling feeling on the skin, and it has a slight smell, but nothing that is really lingered and nothing that it's too heavy and perfumed. It's just very faint. So I'm going to go ahead and put on the rest of my makeup, and we'll see how it looks in photos. So I now have the rest of my makeup on. It has been a little while because I filmed a video in between while I had this beautiful, flawless, airbrushed face, but I'm incredibly happy with this so far. I'm really hoping it lasts well throughout the day. I kind of expect to get a little bit oily because it doesn't have huge claims for oil control or being mattifying. That being said, if you have normal or possibly even combination skin, you might be able to get away with not powdering because it really does truly set. For me, I always powder no matter what unless I forget, and that's happened like 3 times in my life, but everything blended on top of it nicely. I had no problems putting my cream concealer over anything. And then in photos, this is what I was the most excited to see. In my studio lighting, it looks great, incredibly flawless and natural. And then in flash, it performs amazing as well. If this is something that people are buying for their wedding day, I would assume it looks great in photos, and it definitely stands up to that test. So as I mentioned, I've had this foundation on for a little while, since about 10 o'clock. It's now 11, so I will check back with you guys at the end of the day. I am back and I am shiny. I've had this foundation on for about 8 hours now, and my oils are definitely starting to come through. That being said, nothing has really moved around. My skin doesn't feel super greasy. If you have oily skin, you know that feeling of like, oh my God. I'm just gonna blot a little bit, maybe powder if need be, but it looks really good. I'm really happy with how it held up, and I just loved the way that it looked on my skin. This is something that I can see myself reaching for on a night out, if I'm going to like an event, something that like I'm gonna be potentially taking pictures, or you just wanna look a little extra flawless. As I've mentioned with a few of my other successful reviews, I plan to wear this out for the rest of the night. I'm gonna go do a little dinner and a movie thing with my boyfriend, and this feels good. I'm gonna continue to wear it. I think that if you have dry skin, you might be able to use this. You might just need to load up on the moisturizer a little bit because it does set on the skin. But if you have normal combination skin or oily, I definitely recommend this, depending on your needs, your budget, that kind of stuff. But I do think overall, it is a great foundation. I'm happy with the shade match. I did go in with a little bit of a deeper powder just to warm it up slightly, but I love the way that it wore on my skin. I love the way it looked in photographs. I love the way that it looked in person. So I can totally see why this is a special event foundation for a lot of people. I think it's gonna be the same for me. I'll probably just add in a mattifying primer along with a setting spray and maybe a little bit more of a mattifying powder as well. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to check out the rest of my 12 days of foundation down below. I'll be back tomorrow with another review, of course. And if you'd like to connect with me, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat at SamanthaJaneYT, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!